Hello, everyone. Australia recently had elections and the Labour Party has won. This video isn't about politics itself. It's about how the election results impact visas and migration in Australia. In Australia, we vote for a party, not for an individual candidate. The Labour Party, which has been in government for the past 3 years, will now remain in power. So why does it matter to you if you're already a visa holder or planning to migrate to Australia? That's what this video is for. The key word here after these elections is continuity. When a government stays in power, it generally means fewer drastic changes in migration policy, requirements, and visa legislation. Historically, every time a new government comes into office, they tend to reverse or alter policies that the previous government implemented, sometimes significantly. This pattern was very evident when Labour first came into power in 2022. They made substantial changes to migration rules and visa programs, and they implemented what they called the migration review. Given that Labour is now continuing in government, it's reasonable to anticipate fewer sudden changes or drastic alterations in the visa system, at least for the short term. Stability and predictability in immigration policies are hugely beneficial if you're in the process of planning your move to Australia, or you are already here navigating the visa system and in the middle of a visa strategy. Now, having said all that, this doesn't mean that everything will remain exactly the same. There are still several potential changes that the Labour government indicated in the past 3 years that they might want to pursue, but that they haven't yet implemented. Some of these points that they haven't implemented involve, for example, the points test for general skilled migration visas. The Labour Party indicated during their review action plan that they would revisit the point system, potentially adjusting it to reflect Australia's current economic and demographic needs, whatever that means. Although the points test changes haven't been implemented yet, it remains a potential policy shift we might see in the near future. Another change that the Labour government indicated they were going to implement but hasn't happened yet is to do with the labor market testing, or LMT, if you're applying for a 482 sponsorship temporary visa. This is expected to change in terms of validity of an ad that an employer posts when trying to find an Australian and justifying they couldn't find an Australian, therefore having to sponsor a foreigner. Now it's about 4 months. It's proposed to go up to 6 months. This will help employers when hiring international workers because this will streamline the recruitment process. Another notable proposal from Labour involved publishing a list of employer sponsors. This increased transparency aims to enhance monitoring and accountability of employers sponsoring international workers. Now, a significant area where Labour has already initiated changes, and we saw that in the last year, was the international education and student visas. They implemented some reforms, but a critical question remains: have these reforms truly supported international students and graduates as they promised in their migration review action plan? What we saw last year was the gutting, really, of the international student industry, resulting in schools closing and a huge increase in student visa application refusals. I don't need to mention again the size of the economic contribution this industry has brought to Australia, as I mentioned that in all my videos, but you know where I'm going. Another crucial political development to do with the elections relates to the other party, the opposition. With Peter Dutton, who was the leader of the Liberal Party, losing the election and his seat in Queensland, the Liberal Party now needs a new leader. Whoever takes this job, that leadership change could impact Australia's migration policies. Now, before you get scared, it's worth remembering that the Liberal Party initially created significant migration pathways, such as the Skilled Migration Program, the 457 sponsorship visa, which has evolved into the current 482 SIG visa. So despite some political narratives and rhetoric in terms of reducing migration that we saw from the Liberal Party, traditionally they have supported migration and they recognize migration's essential role in Australia's economic prosperity. Many economists as well agree that Australia's economic boom during the 90s wasn't solely due to mining, but was heavily driven by migration. Migrations contributed significantly to Australia's workforce, innovation, cultural diversity, and economic resilience. Therefore, the fact that a new Liberal Party leader will be chosen could be a good thing. No need to get scared there. That new leader may go back to what the Liberal Party used to think in terms of how migration is a driver of Australia's economic growth and global competitiveness. This could balance out the political narrative and emphasize migration's integral role rather than portraying it negatively or as a merely political issue, which we've seen in recent years. So to sum it up, the recent Australian election results suggest stability and continuity in migration policies under Labor, with some potential policy adjustments still on the horizon. At the same time, political shifts within the opposition Liberal Party may offer an opportunity for renewed appreciation of migration's importance to Australia's economic future. Thanks for watching.